Hello, hello, hello. All right, let me see. All right, let's put this together. Oh, like that. Yes. Oi. Hello. Today I am hoping to go over the book Boundaries. So, I want to do one chapter at a time. This is the first chapter of this book, a very good book, and I want to apply it to your life. I want to lay it out for you, and I want you to see something that I think I could learn as well. I think we can work together on this, right? So for this chapter, I'm going to call it. I don't. I'm missing an R. Whoops. Boundary. Boundaryless. We are going to look over the symptoms of what it looks like for you to not have healthy boundaries in your life. And so here's my list. Temptation. So first, when you have a lack of boundaries, you're going to have the temptation to compare. You're going to find that things are angry, or things make you angry. You're going to find that like things are unfair. For some reason, how come my friend can, you know, ask me to spend money for him and I can, like buy his groceries or buy his fast food, but they can't do that for me? Like you start comparing the unfairness about the situation. But the key to it is that you don't allow yourself the opportunity to say something when you start feeling that temptation to become angry. You don't address the fact that it's unfair. And so that's why you got to key into what's tempting you. You got to key into what's giving you that proclivity to think it's unfair, because maybe it is unfair or maybe it is fair. That's something that like the communication negotiation part of a relationship is necessary, and we'll get to that later. So that's number one. Number one, temptation to compare. All right. This is number two. Here is the other thing. You allow wrongdoing to happen to you. And here's the thing. Here's the problem with this is that often when wrongdoing happens in your life, if you don't have boundaries, it's easy to put a cover over the situation and say, "Oh, I'm just being kind by not saying anything." But there's a level to which that just isn't the case. Like there can be some time before you say something. There can be a level of grace that happens, or maybe you have three strikes and you're out. For the first time to do it, you don't really say anything, but you wait for one or two more times after that to say something. But regardless, it is not healthy in your boundaries to not confront what is a wrongdoing in your life. So that is number two. It kind of goes on for the first one. There, obviously, these are all like a part of the same realm, but this is the second one that I think is healthy to remember. So yeah, that's number two right there. And now I'm going to work on number three. Let's see what number three is. Let's see. As if I don't know. I kind of don't know. I have my notes right here. You like that? Actually, do you like my brain? Do you like my setup? I like my setup. That's my wife's leopard gecko. He's having a good time. Actually, can you see that? You can. Hey there, buddy. All right, so the first one, is the next one is self-respect equals guilt. Now imagine if you took someone, right, who was like donating to charity, or maybe they're helping the homeless, right? And the person, gives the homeless person food, right? And it's like, here you go, here's a free meal, like please take it. And as they're walking away, the homeless person's like, I need more of this. Like, what do you mean? I won't be able to survive on this. Why would you even give this to me? It's like a weird like guilt trip that's kind of happening. If you don't learn to have an assurance about your identity, if you don't have an assurance about your self-respect, if you don't respect who you are as an individual, it is really easy to interpret your self-defense, a healthy self-defense, not like, oh, I'm defending myself, like victimization. I'm talking like you're advocating for yourself on a fair ground. Sometimes when you do that, you get a sense of guilt for doing that because you haven't been trained that you're allowed to defend yourself in a healthy way. Like you have just as much of a right as the next person. It's like the golden rule. You want to treat someone else just as much as they treat you, right? Like you want to have that equal. Well, it kind of goes the same for treating yourself. You shouldn't treat yourself trash if you're treating everyone else as like good and perfect. You don't want that unbalance. So this one kind of keys into like, are you really having a healthy perspective about yourself? Does that make sense? All right, cool. So that was number 3. This is number 4. This is taking the last one but making it a little more broad, right? So, for instance, sometimes you have family members or friends that try to they put pressure on you and they try to guilt trip you. For instance, it's like, oh, do you want to go to the party tonight? And you had that exam, or that you have to get up early for work tomorrow, or whatever. And at first you say like, oh, I don't know, it's not really a good idea for me. And then they kept pressing. They're like, oh, come on, it'll be great. Oh, don't worry, it'll be fun. Oh, don't they start pushing pressure and pressure and pressure, and then they start discouraging you from your original stance. They push you. And some people it's a little harder, a little more pressure than others, right? It's one thing to be like, hey, can you come to my birthday party? And the other person's like, no, I don't know if I have the schedule. And be like, oh, I would really love for you to be there. That's that's still pressure, but they're not being disrespectful to you by letting you know that they want you to be there and expressing that to you. But you yourself, you are responsible for the amount that you want to stand firm on your foundation, on your boundaries, right? And so allowing yourself to become discouraged by others and what they say and their behavior, that's your responsibility. But that is a flag. Like if you're finding yourself discouraged easily by what people are doing and being self manipulated or like self disrespected to do what they want you to, that's a flag. You need to note that. And everyone goes through that. Everyone experiences that at least once, unless you're extraordinarily assertive person, in which case I don't think you're watching this video. Anyways, here's an kind of a unique one so far. All right. Oops, that's an S. I did not mean to do that. Call excuse per relationship. What do I mean by this? What I mean by this is you feel that because it is because you have a brother or your sister, or because you are a sibling, you are obligated to fulfill a different role. And that also happens in romantic relationships, right? Oh, I am the boyfriend. I have to do this thing. And that's a red flag. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that thing, but you shouldn't take the predisposition of obligation to do something, right? If your girlfriend wants flowers, get her flowers. If she wants a punching bag, get her a punching bag. Don't have a predisposition or identity that forces and obligates you to do something like that. That's a red flag. And so that's what I mean by excuse per relation. It's easy to think, oh, this is what they're going to do because they are this kind of friend or this person in my life. Like it's easy to expect something based off of a category, and then it becomes obligation more than actual love. And we'll get to that next. So I think that was number 6. Nope. Number 5. That was number 5. All right, the next one is do not love out of fear. Please do not love out of fear. Do not love out of fear. This this will confuse you drastically. This will confuse you. Do not, don't do this. And here's why. It's a very simple thing. All right. Maybe I feel like I need like, oh yeah. Okay. This is the, not the corpus callosum. What is this called? The cerebellum. This is the posterior cerebellum. Imagine if this is me. What fear does is it separates, right? It is a motivation to deter, to go away from. Does that make sense? You are fearing, you run away. When you love something, when you desire something, when you are whatever, that like love comes in like millions different ways, but in essentially love brings together. And so if you are, how do you love out of fear? If you're afraid of what your relationship is going to do to you, and so you do something, you're not loving that person. You're afraid because you don't have boundaries to keep you safe. And so don't confuse the two. Fear and love cannot coexist. That's like I'm going to go east by going west. It just doesn't work, right? So if honestly what this should be is if there is fear, that's already a red flag. You should be able to be in a relationship with someone with no fear and to love that person, right? And so you gotta know what the distance is going to be like. We'll talk about it later, but you gotta know what kind of boundaries, how to be honest with the other person, and create a safe environment for you. Actually, I was talking about that in the liars video. I don't know if you watched that, but it's true. You want safety. All right, so there's that. Here are a quick few things also to give you an idea of whether or not the relationship is actually like healthy, right? So first, you try harder. Try harder? Nah. Oh, I don't know if you see it. Whoops, I dropped my little guy. Oh man, I should have used this. This would have been perfect for my analogy. Like it's you. This is you, by the way. I'm gonna put you right here. Watch. Let's see. There you go. Now you're observing the whole thing. You're watching with me. So you're trying hard in a relationship. You're really putting your willpower at the front, and you start like, I'm gonna grind this out, right? No, you will instantly, and I say instantly as in like before you even know it, you will get burnt out, right? You get burnt out and you're like, wow, I'm so exhausted and I want to sleep all the time and I can't tolerate anyone. And you're still not in a safe environment. You're still not healing. All you're doing is just trying harder and then failing. Huh. All right. The next one is a kind of a sign, right? Is being nice out of that's a bad you. I'm sorry. Let me fix that. Here. There you go. Out of fear. Do you know what that makes you? That makes you feel powerless because the part in you that wants that willpower, that wants the freedom, the part of you that actually like, wants to thrive in life. If you do this enough, you're going to feel powerless. Powerless. Bert, no. There you go. You're going to feel powerless. Like that's just that's it's kind of inevitable. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Like you're gonna feel powerless, and with powerlessness comes victimization and anger, comparison. Um, Basically, any fruit that you think is great to have in your life, you will not have because you decide to slowly dwindle it with fear. Anyways, responsibility for others. This is so important. out of all these, please learn this. You're gonna find this happens a lot in this book, and basically, it is an important distinction to say you are not responsible for others. You're responsible to others. And the reason why that's really important is because there is a limit to what you have in control. You can control what you put in your mouth. You might have an addiction. You might have struggle with this. Yes, yeah. Like it's hard to control the desire of what you put in your mouth, but you are responsible for what you put in your mouth, right? You're not responsible. You don't have control of what your friend is doing. You don't. You don't. You are not responsible for your friend's bipolar disorder. You can help. You can love them through that, but you are responsible of giving safety to yourself for self advocacy, right? And that's one of the things too is like you need to keep the responsibility for yourself. Keep what you are responsible for, right? All right, that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked it. Like, comment, and subscribe. 2008 style, you know. I love you guys. Expect the next chapter coming up soon. I plan to post every Saturday, and school is about to start, so expect to see stuff coming out from what I've been learning in school, because this is a great way for me to learn for myself. It motivates me and encourages me. So, all right, I love y'all. Bye.